This week, Lyle and I take you exploring the gorgeous Sunshine Coast Hinterland area. In particular, we record live as we walk around Montville, which is an amazing little village perched right on the edge of the escarpment of the Blackhall Ranges, 500 metres above sea level. We start in a secret little park full of ponds and lush vegetation. Listen as we share just how stunning it is, and you can hear all the birds singing in the background. Next, we take you with us along this quaint main street of Montville Village. Tourists flock to this main street and we share why, including all the unique shops, cafes, galleries that make this village so popular. Even the footpath gets a shout out. I tell you about my favourite dress shop, and not just because of the clothes, but also the dressing room with no curtains. We half-jokingly call Montville the wedding capital of the world, and you will understand why after this episode. Nothing in this little village is ordinary. In fact, most things are extraordinary, including the world-famous purpose-built chapel. It is like nothing you have ever seen before. Finally, we make it to the top of town where we share the most spectacular view that is Instagram famous. Imagine all the shades of green, forests, farms, hills, all gently rolling down all the way to the ocean, to the white strip of sand that lines the sparkling Pacific Ocean. Just spectacular. And you can enjoy a coffee, meal or cold drink, and obviously I mean a wine, while taking in the view. Stay listening to the end when we tell you all about the incredible national parks that surround Montville and the most popular hikes that form part of the Sunshine Coast Hinterland Great Walk. The Sunshine Coast Hinterland is one of the most popular weekend getaway spots in the country, and for good reason. So please enjoy episode 88. And if you would like to see all the pictures from this episode, and they are spectacular, then go to the podcast description on the player you are listening on now and click on the link to episode 88. Good morning, Lyle.
Good morning, Leonita.
Well, as I heard in the intro, we are in the Sunshine Coast Hinterland in Montville, and we are going to be taking you on a walk all around this beautiful part of the Sunshine Coast Hinterland. And I'm pretty excited because it's we used to live here as well.
Yes, a bit of a spoiler alert. We had an accommodation business up here for around 14 years. It was very kind to us. That's how we're able to retire and travel the world.
Funny is, the harder we work, the kinder it got.
That's right, that's true.
Anyway, one of the things that's really, this area is really popular, especially for weekend getaways from Brisbane. But I think if you're going to be driving up here, I would volunteer to be the passenger, not the driver, because even the drive from basically from Landsborough down the bottom of the mountain all the way up, you won't believe the stunning views that you'll see. I've never seen so many shades of green. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, it's always lush and beautiful. And as you're driving along, on the left-hand side, you've got Baroon Pocket Dam, which is, this is the main water supply, and the mountains down to that. And to the right, you can literally see the hills rolling into the sea, can't you?
Yeah, into the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. So it's magnificent.
And you've got little accommodation businesses and little antique shops, and there's probably 3 or 4 different little lookouts that you can stop along the way as well. So now we've parked the car at the southern end, and we've just come into, and now this place in Montville, I reckon it's a secret. Most people don't really know about it, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's called Russell Family Park, and you can probably hear the birds in the background and the little waterfalls running. But it literally is this massive big, it's a lake, a pond, sort of divided in two, and it's surrounded by, I haven't been here for a while, and I'm stunned at how the vegetation's grown long.
Yeah. It's like a different place.
Wow. There's these beautiful big tree ferns and the water lilies and the palm trees and then pine trees, and it's all green and lush all the way around. And then on the other side, there's more of the reflections in the water are incredible. And look, you're going to have to go and have a look at the show notes that go with this episode, because trust me, you've never seen anything like this. It's just, I just absolutely love this place. Now, Lyle, you want to tell people a bit about maybe how you get to Russell Family Park. Like we're at the southern end, but you can access it from the main street too, can't you?
Yeah. Well, Russell Family Park, as the name implies, the Russell family, which I've met Mr. Russell, a lovely bloke, and this was all farmland. And his wife passed away, and as part of the memorial, they donated this land to Montville. And yeah, like, you know, from 15 years ago, what this was to what it is now, it's unbelievable. But look, as far as the entrance is, we're at the southern end. Surprisingly, there's not a really big sign to say it's Russell Family Park and what's available. But yeah, it's just, so as you drive in, just turn left into the car park, and it's just next to this part of the car park. The first part of the car park is right next to the clock shop, which is probably one of the more iconic shops or retailers in Montville.
And there's plenty of parking too. They've built a big car park area there now as well. Yeah,
it's much bigger than when we were here. Because one of the big problems that Montville did have was the fact that it got so many visitors, but didn't have the car parks to accommodate them. But obviously now they have. Now, I just want to give you a bit of a background. As we said, that we're doing this on the Sunshine Coast Hinterland, which basically is the Blackhall ranges, and it's around 400 to 450 metres on average elevation, which is about 1,300 feet, so it's not huge. Now, its location, it's 110 kilometres from Brisbane, and about 100 kilometres from the international airport for any international visitors. It's only about 30 kilometres from the Sunshine Coast Airport, and it's only really 35k from the Caloundra, where we live, and probably the most famous beach, Noosa. It's only 60k from there. Now, how did we get here? Look, to be honest, the public transport around the Sunshine Coast Hinterland is pretty average. So you're really going to need a car, but it's well worth it. Now, the other thing is, in relation to hiring a car, you'll have to do that on the coast or at the airport. There are no hire car facilities on the Blackhall ranges. So, and the other side of it too, there's very limited taxi and Uber up here as well. So just be aware. So, you really got to hire a car if you haven't got one. The Blackhall Ranges is basically made up of three major towns. It's Mullaney, Mapleton and Montville. You've got other little places like Flaxton and Wirra and those sort of places, but this is the main. The main industries, well, Lam, what do you reckon the main industry is here?
The main industry is definitely weddings.
Yeah, it's basically the wedding capital of Australia. Yeah, tourism. So, and then obviously you've got dairy farming, macadamia orchards and avocados. Now, the soil up here is so rich, it's almost red. So everything just grows crazy, and obviously it's a subtropical rainforest area. So that's pretty much gives you a bit of an idea. Now, the history of Montville, basically the first European settlers arrived in 1887. The town was originally called Razorback, and one of the other the road is called Razorback Road. It was officially changed to Montville in 1897.
How beautiful is this, like Lyle? We're walking along and Lyle's broken all these facts, which is amazing, but the Russell Family Park, we've got this beautiful wide path that goes around the edge of the lake. You can hear the insects and the birds. Sorry, Lyle, you can get back to that. It's beautiful. It's one of my favourite places. And it's not that big to walk around, but I used to do a few loops of it.
Yeah, well, I think it was, wasn't it? Was it 600? I'm pretty sure it's 600 metres.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's about 600 metres to do the loop.
Yeah.
So, and the end of the loop, is about, I don't know, probably 50 stairs.
I don't know, it's quite
And that was
many.
at the end. So
And look, there's little turtles in the pond. You can see a little turtle sitting over there on the that little buoy in the in the pond.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's really good. The kids love to come and throw rocks in the water, and it's really, and there's a playground for children as well. I don't know if I said that earlier. And I've actually done that up since we were here. Like, it wasn't much of a playground. We've got this massive big climbing frame now, and little play area for younger kids, and it's all under shade there with seats for the adults. And definitely you can bring your scooters and ride around here. But
I've got to be honest, Leanne.
yes,
I am so surprised at how different this is, and we loved it prior to when we were living here. But this is absolutely amazing.
oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, you've got the tall palm trees, and the red cedars, and like it's
the
just
tree ferns
magnificent.
are my favourite. I have to say, but I can't get over how much this vegetation has grown. Like, we're standing here now, and to our right is the main street of Montville, but you can't see it
No,
because there's so much vegetation. Yeah, it's incredible. There's a lot of like the pretty little water lilies as well, and wow, it's beautiful. It's let's just go over here in the shade, and I'm going to stop and take a couple of photos so you can see them on the website. This is episode 88, so make sure you go and check out beachtravelwine.com podcast number 88, and here's some water running down there. Like, it's been a fair bit of rain, and there's a little bird floating around over there on the water as well. He's just ducked underneath. So it's very, very beautiful. You enjoying this?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I like it. As you said, the vegetation has just gone crazy.
Beautiful. Wow, that Russell Family Park was impressive, wasn't it?
Mm.
Wow. Okay, so we've come back out onto the main street of Montville Village.
Yep.
And where we've parked is, as I said, right up at the southern end, and there's also like a tourist information centre here, which is worth checking out if you want to know some more things about the area.
Yeah, and that's open for 7 days from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And now one of the things that that really is unique to Montville itself, the village itself, is the different styles of architecture.
Sure.
And I tried, when we were here, I tried to find out whether it was actually planned. Because it seems like it was planned, because
Sure.
you've got like the clock shop there,
Yeah.
which has basically been there
Austrian,
since,
maybe?
yeah, well, Austrian, Eastern European or Northern European.
It's made out of stone, and then it's got wood slate roof.
Yeah,
and,
so it's almost Swiss chalet.
yeah.
And that's been there since 1993, and that specialises in cuckoo and grandfather clocks, handmade, and basically that is Australia-wide known. It's a specialist shop, so that's great.
That's the first shop we come across. That's on the I guess the western side of the main street.
And then right next to them you've got Chocolate Country,
Yes.
which again is that's Swiss-made chocolates, and I just noticed there that they actually not only sell chocolates, but they do chocolate making classes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's there.
And then right next to that is a beautiful sort of craft and cafe, which is like a little old Queensland house.
Yeah, it's like a Queenslander. It's beautiful. It's got the veranda, and it's up on stilts a little bit. And
look at those beautiful trees out the front with the vines climbing up them, and you've got the palm trees. And then right in front of us, sort of arching over the path, is a beautiful pink crepe myrtle. That's one of the things about...
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's one of the things about the hinterland. It's always beautiful. There's always something flowering, from the jacarandas and the agapanthus to the flame trees to the, what did you say, the tiburtinas, and the crepe myrtles, and just all the gingers and the little ground covers. Bougainvilleas, they're beautiful.
And the colours.
It's the perfect climate.
Are so bright, you know. And then across the road from where, we had a big jacaranda tree out the front of our business, and directly across the road, and different
we'll talk
seasons.
about that when we get up there.
You've basically got these brilliant red-orange flame trees, like you wouldn't believe.
So the main street is what, about 1 kilometre long?
Yeah, that's
Right,
all.
and that's what we're walking today. So we're going to go up and we're going to tell you about the shops and what you can see. And there's some real amazing things that you won't even believe. But I just want to point out too, the other side of the road is, now the cicadas have all started, is the dressing room of Montville. Now that business has got a lot of money out of me over the years.
It has, yes.
And there's like probably 4 or 5 shops up there, but the dressing room in Montville is one of my favourites because you won't believe the dressing room. They're like you're right up high, so no one can see in. So the dressing rooms have got a floor, like a big window in them, and as you're trying on your clothes, you can actually see all the way down to the ocean.
Oh, I thought you went there for the clothes, but it was actually...
Well, and the owner, Robin, is lovely too, and her daughter, Anthea, so it's a great little fashion shop.
And the shop right next to them is one of my favourites. There's a Sunshine Coast candy shop.
Oh, it is not. You're like...
But you can go in there and watch them make the candy.
Oh, yeah, okay. They probably give you a try too, do they? Yeah. All right, let's get going. So the streetscape here, like look at these street lights. They're like copper with pine cones on top, and the shade over the light bulbs are just beautiful. Even the garbage bins, Lyle.
Yeah.
I'm going to take lots of photos of this streetscape so you can have a look. But it's amazing. It's beautiful. And because we've had some rain, it's just everything's even jumping out of the ground even more so, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's then the path that we're walking on. It's not just a plain old
concrete path. No.
It's got pavers in patterns, and right next to it you've got a little brick retaining wall and the beautiful green agapanthus, and there's some heliconias to our left, and yeah, it's just amazing. Even the crossings across the street, they've got these beautiful decorative little bollards to stop you from walking straight out onto the road. So yeah, and that's a really popular shop too, Lyle, is the Budrum Ginger shop. That's been there forever.
And the other thing you'll notice too is there's a fair amount of like artisan type shops. You've got there's a silver and gem shop directly. How would you say that name? Yeah.
Which one? Oh, Gaia's.
Gaia's, silver and gem shop. You've got.
We've got the opal cutter right there. That's well known in Australia as well.
Yep. And up further, you've got
antique jewellery.
Well, you've got antique jewellery. Well, there's actually an antique shop there. Yeah. But you've also got the woodcutters. Store there, which is all artisan wood making. Yeah. Now, directly across the road, we've got Poets Cafe.
I'm going to get some nice photos of that later, and so go and have a look at beachtravelwine.com, episode 88, because it's like a French provincial cafe.
Correct. I was trying to think of what it was, but you've got it in one.
And out the views from there, once again, it's down to the sea, but it's almost through like a bit of a pine forest down there, and you can walk around the bottom of it. They actually can have functions in underneath that cafe. It's beautiful.
And basically, floor to ceiling glass, windows and doors, and you're right, perfect. Yeah. French provincial.
And the thing about Montville is we're here in summer, but there's something here for every season, and we'll talk a little bit.
Winter actually was the busiest.
Yeah, because there's a lot of there's like boutique accommodation places everywhere, and a lot of them have fireplaces and Airbnbs, and we'll talk a bit more about accommodation choices in a little while as well. So let's get going up here. I don't know why we chose to walk uphill, because we're recording live. That Cadman Cottage, it's like a little house there. It's got lots of different gift ideas. Once again, they've got gardens out the front. That's the thing about these shops. They've all got their beautiful little gardens out the front, haven't they?
That particular one's got a chimney.
Yeah. I mean,
sides,
you do a 360-degree turn, and the trees, the gardens, like the French cafe over there. Oh, it's just beautiful. I mean, there are some shops that change quite regularly too. Like there are some standard sort of ones. So this is I don't know what this building's called, but there's obviously lots of coffee shops and
and fashion shops. There's a lot of fashion shops.
Sure. Let's just get going up here, because this is one of the more popular things, photographs that you'll see. And once again, I'll be putting that in the the show notes. And it's the Montrose water wheel. And now, Lyle, this is new. You can actually have coffee sitting there.
Oh, right, okay, that is new.
Yeah, that's a great idea, isn't it? Beautiful architecture. Look at the stone building in that, and once again, the wooden windows. It's just...
Again, very Swiss chalet.
Yeah.
Yeah, magnificent.
So
and
this
then
is
you've got,
Lamy
what's the
coffee
name
shop,
of that?
so it's beautiful. Sorry, what were you saying, honey?
What's the name of the jewellery shop?
Larisha.
Larisha Jewellery, yeah. So...
And a beautiful, nice restaurant to our left here, the Inside India. Now, that's been there forever. The beautiful clothes and fashion they have down this little cobblestone. It's not cobblestone, but brick, sort of imitating European cobblestone street, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You've got your main street, but there's all these little offshoots as well. Well, you know, and the gardens, I can see roses up there. There's a bougainvillea. It's just beautiful. Lyle's gone to find something. Beautiful new coffee shop. I think we'll be coming back there, Lyle, for a nice coffee. Little bridge you can walk over with the water underneath and the ferns, and just down this little laneway, down past the coffee shop we're talking about and the water wheel, is Russell Family Park. So it's all very close, but how beautiful is this?
Yeah.
Done a great job with that coffee shop.
Yeah, well, like I've got to tell the listeners that whenever I had friends come up from interstate or family, even before we had the business here, we always brought them to Montville because it's just so different. It's just like a paradise, isn't it? It's just, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it, apart from maybe in Europe.
Sure. Look at that beautiful water wheel. It'd be like, 3-4 meters in diameter, that water wheel.
Yeah.
And it's a working water wheel, so it's on the front of the building. It's got water sort of dripping into it, and it's just turning round and round above a little pond there. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And this guy right next door, this Ben Messina gallery, the photographs this guy takes.
That's right, it is a photo. Yeah, it's not open at the moment. We're a bit early, but...
Well, there's got some out the front though, like you can see them on the front, you know, and most of them are landscapes around this area, so it's just so beautiful. Underneath this great big beautiful arching tree, like a leopard tree, just beautiful, isn't it?
Is that what it's called, a leopard tree? I can understand why it would be called a leopard tree because of.
I'm going to call it that. So if someone wants to correct me, they can do that. So, and then this is another little popular spot here. This Charlie's Cafe and Bakery, that's been there for a long time too. Make beautiful fresh sandwiches, burgers.
Yes, they do, and they don't do a bad little sausage roll, just between me and you.
No. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to cross over the road because there is something so spectacular we want to share with you. This has been all over the world, this thing we're looking at right now, and
as in the images of it.
Yeah, sure. And it is called the Montville Chapel. Now that doesn't sound that impressive, but let me try and describe it. It's purpose-built chapel right on the edge of the escarpment, and I can see we can't get close. They've got us sort of fenced off. We're probably 50 meters away, if that. But I can see from here all the way into the chapel and through the chapel, and and it's like a big pointed ceiling, and the whole wall is glass. And then on this side, the back wall, and on this side, it's glass as well, but it's got stained glass in there. And then the doors to this chapel, it's a stone built with I guess iron roof. The doors to this chapel are this beautiful carved timber. Now, it's a local artist that made those doors, isn't it? Yeah. And the benches inside, or the pews, are all hand carved as well.
Exactly. It's the same guy that did all the work at Secrets on the Lake, which is an accommodation place and probably the most expensive place to stay. But yeah, he's a renowned. He's from Witter, which is a little town not far from here. But yeah, he's the actual sculptures in the woodwork are like you can't believe how intricate everything is. And the guy that actually did the stained glass, he stayed with us, and I'm pretty sure he was from Western Australia. Okay. So what they've done is they've used the best of the best and the best of the views, and they made the best of the location to make probably the most beautiful place that you could ever get married. Correct. Right? And they've got a little reception area here called Cupid's.
Yeah, it's Cupid's Cafe.
Yeah, Cupid's Cafe, and
which is once again maybe 20 metres from the church, and there's a great big green flat area with a hedge around it, so you can just I've seen some of the photos that people take of the weddings. It's the Chapel Montville. Google it. I'm going to get as many photos as I can. But
yeah, do yourself a favour, Google it. It is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
yeah. And should we talk about weddings now, or come back to that?
Well, probably. I mean, now that we're standing here, look.
We
the
jokingly
Montville
call Montville the wedding capital of the world.
Yeah, but there's lots of other reception areas. We actually just recently went to Harry and Emily's wedding at Tiffany's.
Yeah, what a beautiful spot
and
that
Tiffany's is on the Mullaney side.
Yes.
Now, but Tiffany's also, although they don't have views of the ocean, they have a floor-to-ceiling glass wall as well that looks out over the Blackhall Ranges, which is
The Glasshouse Mountains.
and the yes, that's right, and the Glasshouse Mountains, which, although different, just as impressive. And the wedding itself was absolutely beautiful.
So there's a few of these major wedding venues where they have a chapel or an area to get married, which all of them have views, even Mullaney Manor.
Oh, Mullaney Manor. Now, the Mullaney Manor is down in a valley.
Yeah.
And it's just...
They still have ocean views, though, from there.
Yeah, but it's absolutely beautiful.
And they actually have accommodation there, so you can actually stay there as well, you know, the bride and bridesmaids and that sort of thing.
Well, then you've got Cloverley Estate, which is at Spices, which is basically a 5-star resort.
Yeah.
So you've got that opportunity as well.
And what's the one north of Montville there?
Flaxen Gardens.
Flaxen Gardens, another one. And they're just a few we're naming off the top of our head. There's other little venues like the old farm, the one that's...
Oh, yeah. The old dairy farm.
The old dairy, that's another one. They converted an old dairy shed into a wedding venue. You just can't believe just how beautiful it is. And then, you know, so people come up here, that's when, because we had the accommodation business, people would come up for the weekend and just couldn't get over how beautiful it was.
Yeah, and it was very, very profitable for us.
But the chapel sitting there, because it's in the main street of Montville, that just makes it very easily accessible for most people. And it is truly, truly stunning. So, all right, we'll keep walking.
Sure.
All right, so we've crossed over the road from that bakery we're talking about. So we'll probably cross back over because there's not a lot on this side of the street for the next little bit, because there's like a public amenity block in the school. There's a Montville public, it's a primary school right in the centre of town. Lovely little school, very popular little school for the locals.
Now,
yes,
we're looking directly across this particular business, Coonamarra Cottage, which was established in 1984.
Oh, that's right, yeah. It's
and that's almost like an Irish...
the Irish... Yeah, pub sort of building.
Yeah. So
the
it's
lattice work as well, and this beautiful little cafe, Little Maid's Espresso. They're gorgeous. Another little garden with these little seaside daisies and the beautiful blue convolvulus there, and as you said, the Irish cottage sort of feel.
Yeah, Irish cottage. That's the word I was trying to think of.
With the tea shops and
they've got all the windowsills with the planter boxes. Yeah, it's. As I said, I'm not sure whether this was all designed.
Yeah, or they just said, let's try and get some, everyone try and do something different. You know? There's another little...
But they've achieved it.
Another little offshoot from the main street down there to Benny the Beagle's Books down the lane. And then all of a sudden, we're sort of in the middle of the main street, we come to basically the little heart of Montville Village, which is where you've got the post office, the IGA, couple of other little shops in there, little food shops,
little coffee shops.
Yeah, so it's like
and also fudgy boom bar.
Yeah, but that's like a
Village Square.
Village Square. Thank you. There we go. It's not big.
No, but that's what it's known as, the Village Square, and so we've got fudgy boom bars.
Another little coffee shop. Well, the fudge shop's been there forever, and Mr. Fudge and Fudgy, they call him.
Yeah. Great guy. He wears the hilarious coloured shirts you've ever seen.
And also you can try any of the fudge, and it's so delicious. Oh, what about this place right opposite the school?
I got to say, Leanne, your enthusiasm for this place far outdoes mine.
This is my favourite shop, I think. And there's one down where we live in Caloundra, but this is where I discovered it, and it's called Amazin', and it's under this great big poinsettia tree, right?
Yeah.
Poinciana tree?
Yep.
Poinsettia, what are they?
Oh, hang on. I think this might even be a jacaranda.
No, it's not. It's got the red flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's like it's got a little front yard here on it, and it's like an old house, and amazing puzzles, games and gifts. And it's been here since 1998. So
Oh,
And-
okay. Yeah, it has. Yeah, and again, it's a little small Queenslander.
Yeah, and I've never ever walked into that shop without buying something, and because I now
That
have,
doesn't surprise me, Leanne.
well, when Lyle and I first met, I have one grandchild. I'm just about to have number 9, so there's a
You've
lot
been
of
so
birthdays,
busy.
lots of birthdays, lots of Christmas presents. They never ever let me down. Their recommendations, good quality.
Perfecto.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, Lyle's looking at me as if to say, "Come on, let's keep going." All right. So we're just passing. There's a driveway that goes down behind the little supermarket Village Square area, and that's another place that you can actually access Russell Family Park. And then, like, it's another little Queensland house with its own little walkway entrance and little seated area there, and it's called Montville Antique. So this beautiful Queensland house with the gardens and the sweeping staircase, you know, and the path up to the front. And yeah, one side is the antiques, and look, a tattoo place now. There you go, private tattoo studio. So that's
The
new.
Soul Temple Tattoo.
Yeah, but I just love the entrance into that. It's great, isn't it?
Sure. And then, as we said, there's the Wood Gallery.
Yeah.
That's been here obviously forever. That was one of the original galleries.
So it's got a nice big sort of covered patio area at the front, and it's full of all basically handmade,
or handcrafted wood.
Wood.
Yeah,
Like
sculptures.
All sculptures, but furniture, you know, wood things of all sizes. So, but another shop that we haven't seen before, but quite fascinating, in the little house next door, is called the Spooky Hollow Haunted History Museum. So there's some fun things looking on the veranda there that we might have to have a
bit of a peek.
a bit of a cheeky look at. So as I said, we just got the big schoolyard on the right hand side, or on the east side of the road, and we're
And please forgive Leanne for huffing and puffing, because as she said, we are going uphill.
I used to hate walking up this hill. There's a couple of little churches here on the left.
Yeah, and you got the Freemason Centre.
Yeah, got the Uniting Church. There's got like a gallery inside the church. You can go in and have a look.
And across the road, you've got St Mary's Anglican Church, and that was the first church. That's got one of the best positions bloody in Montville. It's right on the escarpment, and that was consecrated in 1914.
Wow, okay.
And it's still there. They still hold services.
It's a cute little chapel. I can see it from here. You know, it's got the arch windows and little, and then there's a hall next door, and they often hold markets in the hall next door to that as well.
Correct, yeah. And that area there, that's known as the Village Green.
Yeah, and they have like any functions there, like the Christmas functions and any market things they have out in there as well. This is another shop that's been here for a long time, Almari Leather.
Yeah.
And you can get anything. It's not quite Florence.
No, but they've got a lot of, like, they have different styles of leather, whether it be ostrich, whether it be emu, whether it be like snakeskin.
Yeah. But also there's everything from, you know, bikey leathers right through to handbags.
Correct.
Yeah. And sunglasses cases and everything. So you can find a whole lot of stuff in there that I'm sure you could easily spend money on. We're just standing at the top of the other road entrance into Montville. It's the Razorback Road, and must be like a group of motorbike riders coming town, if you can hear those. All right,
yeah, and just to make you aware, motorbike riding up here is a real big thing because of obviously the contouring mountain roads. So you do get a lot of motorcycle clubs.
Well,
we used to get a lot of them actually staying at the Montville Mountain Inn.
Even car clubs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Used to have the Ulysses come up once a year.
Yeah, the Ulysses, and then you'd have the Chevrolet Club, you'd have the Porsche Club, you'd have...
Yeah, so a lot of people, even they just come up for weekend drives. All right, so we're coming to the top of the town now, and hear the cars. It's a little bit busy spot on the road. As Lyle was saying, there's the Village Green, and I'm looking across at that now, and there's 4, 5, 6 great big, like massive trees. They're probably the Moreton Bay figs, I imagine, with the great big buttresses around the bottom and the big arching branches with the leaves. so much shade there. It's so beautiful. And looking through there, you can see the edge of the mountain that goes down to the ocean. And we'll just continue on here to our left, another art gallery. So as you can see, there's cafes, there's you know, like artisan shops, as we said, a lot of art galleries. And this one's been here a long time, and this isn't just this is basically what do you call it, like painting, not just photographs.
Yeah. It's a pretty upmarket art gallery.
Yeah.
Again, people come from all over Australia and Brisbane come up here to purchase fine art, and
once again, it's in a beautiful little old Queenslander. With a curving path up to the front stairs, and little garden on the side. You've got the impatiens in the pots, and they've got some pots hanging on the palm trees. Like, it's so pretty.
And right next to that, you've got Misty's restaurant, which was originally the first building site in Montville.
Okay.
And
it's going under some renovations. There's a change
at the moment.
There,
yeah. And that was a restaurant, became a restaurant, I think, in 1985. So more than likely the first restaurant in Montville.
Okay, so we're coming up to the familiar end of town, because this is where we had our business and we used to live. We might, on the right hand side is basically the Edge Cafe, Restaurant and Bar, and a big sort of shopping area. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We might cross over there. And
one of the other things that we've
failed to point out,
is all along the footpath there are sculptures, like, would you say?
Embedded into the footpath.
Yeah, like stainless steel sculptures.
So this one is Stephen's banded snake, and you know, like, it's got a picture. Well, I can't even see the snake, to be honest. I don't know. It's got like a shell, and it's got trees and things, and it's.
But these are, you know, fairly
streetscapes, you'd call them.
Basically, and there's the one back there was the Richmond butterfly, which is an endangered butterfly, and they're spaced out equally, and it's right along the footpath.
So this is another shop I've spent a bit of money at.
Yes, she did.
Chicken Sassy Boutique. But this is like a rust-coloured shed almost, and it was a house though, and it's got the beautiful hibiscus, the lovely rose geranium, and it says out the front, puppy and partner friendly, and it's got a beautiful chair that sits out amongst the hydrangeas just outside the shop, and it's broken because it was an old house. It's got all these different rooms in it full of different types of fashion, and then it's got this beautiful, I don't even know what this plant is. It looks like wisteria, but it's not, and it flowers in summer. So I'm going to put some photos like of all the main street. You have to see it to believe it. This next place has been here a while. It's got a massive dinosaur, probably one about 5 meters long, a triceratops, and then a koala where you can hop up in the middle of it and get a photo. And it's called the Crystal Multiverse. So lots of different sorts of, like, you know, like the dream catchers and the crystals and the garden gnomes and all that stuff. Looks like a bit of fun. And normally the dinosaur's blowing bubbles, so might be a bit early yet, but I'm sure he'll bring his bubbles out. And then there's like another little driveway off the main street down to a few other little shops. There's like a parlour, a beauty parlour down there, like massage and stuff, and a couple of houses. You can actually drive down the back. Here we are, Lyle.
Yes, we spent many a night partying at the Montville Cafe Bar and Grill, which was right next to our motel style resort, which was the Montville Mountain Inn.
This would have to be one of the most
stunning beer garden or outside areas. It is. I remember when they came, because they came after us, and when they said the amount of money they were going to spend on the garden area, I just thought, you're crazy. Like, it's the hot sun and whatever.
Well, it's all artificial turf, but all around it are the gardens. And Ali, who's the lady who owns
the partners,
Marty and Ali,
they own it.
She loves these pots, and there's always flowers on every table, all the time. And if one looks a bit scrappy, down to, you know, Bunnings she goes, or wherever now, and buys those plants. So it's all, as I said, so it's green everywhere. And then they've got these massive big umbrellas, so you're protected from the sun, you're protected from, you know, the rain that you might get.
And then on those umbrellas are connected to like a water
water mist.
Water mist,
that's right. So when it's really hot, you get this spray of water. It's great, and then little fairy lights all the way around.
And to be honest, their food is fabulous. They never change their menu, which always sort of got up my nose. But
don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke. But yeah, I mean, I live next door to it, right? So it was, and basically, so I saw the menu every day. But people that just come up on the weekends, they don't know. No. But the sign of not changing the menu means the menu's a good menu.
I've never had a bad feed here.
No, they're great steaks. Yeah. Great calamari, remember?
Yeah. Oh, they had that beautiful chicken dish I used to like as well. So this is the beer garden, but let's go down to the pub part of it. Of course, it's not open yet, and they've got air conditioning upstairs dining. It's a Tudor style pub, isn't it? It's called the Montville Cafe Bar and Grill. And as I said, we've got the beer garden with all the beautiful plants and the trees, and it's very, very pretty to sit underneath. And then
they've got the flower boxes as well underneath the windows. And I see they've got a little Father Christmas.
Yes, most people still got their Christmas decorations out because I guess it's still Christmas school holidays here.
But one of the big things that they do here in July is Christmas in July.
But let's just, we'll talk about that in a sec. So it's a Tudor style, so it's white and it's got the black timber. It's got
A-frames.
It's got the wooden window surrounds with the flower. What do you call those things?
Flower boxes.
Flower boxes, and once again they're full of beautiful impatiens by the look of it. And as Lyle said, it's you can be upstairs, downstairs. It's really well known around the area. Christmas in July, and it's fabulous because it's cold, and they have the fireplace. And Lyle used to dress up as Santa.
I used to do Santa, yo ho ho.
Yeah, but that's a pirate.
But right at the front, they've got Santa's sleigh.
What does Santa say?
You've also got a life-size model of Santa
and
one of his and Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. So they always did. To give them credit, Marty and Ali always did things to perfection.
And inside you've got the great big barrels they use as tables. There's a little, it's a really old-fashioned sort of English bar area. It's a fabulous pub. But can you tell me what does Santa say?
Yo ho ho.
No, that's a ho 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 is Santa. Yo ho.
Oh, that's the bloke with the one leg and the patch over his eye.
Yeah.
I've always wondered why I got strange looks.
Yeah, well, I used to be popular with all the girls.
Only because I had the red uniform on. I think they're just women like uniforms.
Well, I think they liked the chocolates you had in your...
Oh, yes, I did. I used to give out chocolates as presents.
All right, here we are at the top of the town, right next door. It's the same man built the Montville Cafe Bar and Grill and the motel next door, which is Montville Mountain Inn accommodation. So we used to run this and live upstairs. There's a 4-bedroom unit upstairs, and it's 26 rooms, and it's the best spot in Montville, basically.
Yeah, and look, it had a beautiful big swimming pool down the bottom.
Tennis court,
and then they had that rotunda up
barbecue
over
area,
barbecue area over that overlooked the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, it is old-fashioned in a lot of ways. It's an old building, but because it's in that Tudor style, it stays relevant.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
well, you wouldn't say it was old-fashioned if you were in a Tudor town in Europe.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, look, all I can say, it was very, very kind to Leanne and I. And
we should stop saying that. You work 7 days a week, 24/7. So that's
the only thing that used to get us is when Leanne, we used to get a lot of wedding guests come back, and because we were the biggest accommodation and we're probably the most convenient located, would they come back on buses? Remember? And they'd come back about 11:30 at night, and they'd all be having a great time, and they all wanted to continue to have a good time when they got back to the accommodation. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't let that happen. So Leanne used to wake me up at every Friday and Saturday night, give me the nudge and say, you better go and tell them to go to bed. So
I couldn't go to sleep till I knew, because we've got 26 rooms, not all wedding guests, right?
Sure. So, but that was my job every Friday and Saturday morning. Yeah. Friday and Saturday morning. It was Saturday and Sunday morning was my turn to go down and tell the buggers to go to bed.
So we're right at the top of the main street, and it finishes here at Montville Mountain Inn. And I think it's time for us to
go and have a coffee.
Go and have a little break, and then tell you all about the edge, because that's pretty spectacular too. Yes.
Sure.
Well, I certainly hope you liked our little walk around the main street of Montville. We had a great time. Just slowing down and really appreciating the surrounds.
And reminiscing a little bit.
Yeah, it was great. So remember to go to beachtravelwine.com/podcast, and this is episode 88, because I know I say it all the time, but you just can't believe how beautiful this place is. But where we're finishing the podcast today is probably one of the best vantage points, right? And so we've come right up the top of the main street. We're right at the northern end, and we've crossed over to the Mayfield complex, it's called. Now, it's a big complex full of shops, cafes, and accommodation, and restaurant, obviously. And it's called Mayfield because there was something to do with pottery, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was originally the Mayfield Pottery Studios. Like, it was a pretty iconic location and business originally, and then when John Hargraves bought the land, he then built the Mayfield building, and the Mayfield building upstairs you've got 12 accommodation, fully self-contained apartments, which we looked after for about 14 years.
And most of them have a sea view, and the most
well, pretty much.
Some of them have got street views, though.
That's right. Yeah. That's true.
But the ones that have sea views have this the beautiful big balconies on them. You know.
Yeah, they're huge balconies.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how.
The apartments are huge.
Yeah, and I know how huge everything is in those apartments, because I used to come over and help clean with the girls or sweep the leaves off the balconies, and they are huge.
I'm going to put a link to the Mayfield accommodation in our show notes as well.
Yeah, so we just had a coffee each, and
it's the Edge Cafe and Restaurant.
And Adele, which is John's daughter, she looks after that. And so we've just said hello to her,
and we're sitting in the pizza and ice cream place now, which Andrew, the son, also runs, which is got like the great views down over the
look, the views here really are. I mean,
okay, let's describe it. We're sitting here and we're right up high, and if you look down, all you can see is greenery, from palm trees to gum trees to those beautiful rolling green hills. You know, we can see the little farms dotted around, can't you? And some of the
all
little
the valleys, all the green valleys.
And then you look across and you can see Mount Coolum, which is obviously where Coolum Beach is. There's another island out there, so you can see all the Sunshine Coast ocean all the way, like basically from one end to the other. They actually say, it's where as I said earlier, the mountains roll into the sea.
And it's no exaggeration. It is absolutely magnificent. If you were anywhere in the world, and you were in a location like this, you could not help but be impressed.
And you can hear the insects, and there's the birds chirping. Like it's nature at its best. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole front of the Mayfield complex. So along where the pizza restaurant is and the Edge restaurant is, you can actually, have these amazing views. You can sit out on the balcony. There's a covered balcony. There's inside. There's plenty of seating. And we just had, as Lyle said, brekkie. They do a really nice lunch, and it's always good for a nice cold beer and some prawns.
They don't do dinner. They only do breakfast and lunch. But originally, when I first got up here, Montville really was known as a lunch destination from Brisbane and from the rest of the Sunshine Coast.
So like a day visit, isn't it?
Yeah, day visit. So now
yes.
Well, what I was going to say is, can we talk about the other attractions that are close to Montville?
Oh, let's do that. Sure. Yeah, I've forgotten all about that. I'm so engrossed in this view.
Yeah.
All right, well, one of my favourite is Condalilla Falls.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's about a 2-3 kilometre drive from the top of town here.
Yep.
And we've done that walk so many times. Like, it's part of the Sunshine Coast Hinterland walk.
Yeah, great walks.
Walks.
Yeah, now there is a car park there. So now Condalilla Falls circuit, from the top of the falls, winding down through the escarpment rainforest to the base of the Condalilla Falls, is 4.8 kilometres return walk. It takes roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, so you start at the car park, and it's quite a steep walk, but it's a nice path down through some grass picnic areas to the top of the walk. And
and at the top of the walk, remember that there's that swimming hole.
Well, I was
with
going
the
to say, you get to
waterfall.
a point where you can go down. There's a 90-metre waterfall, so you can actually take a path that goes down around so you can see and go all the way down to the bottom of that waterfall.
And we have done that.
And that's the 4.8 kilometre one that you talk about.
Yep.
And the views back to Condalilla Falls, especially now that we've had some rain, are just amazing. And then there's a shorter loop that you can do, or you can come back up from that long loop and you come to what they call the rock pool. And that's where the swimming hole is. It's got a smaller waterfall, but it's safe for swimming in there. And that's on one side, it's got the swimming hole, and then there's sort of some rocks and, where the water goes over, and that's where the drop to that 90-metre waterfall starts, yeah?
Yeah. And then you've got, there's another walk there that starts at actually Baroon Pocket Dam or Lake Baroon, which is another probably 5 minutes drive from the centre of Montville.
And that's the big water supply, so it's a huge lake. How big is it? I think you made a note of that.
It's 370 metres long with a surface area of 380 hectares. Now, there's barbecue and picnic areas.
Yeah.
There's no motorised boating, but you can canoe, kayak, fish, and there's lots of walking trails. And I have seen koalas there in the wild. So you can go from there.
The car park,
the car park there, and the maps of all the walks, you can go onto the Queensland government.
Well, how about I put a link to them in the show notes?
Okay, yeah. So you just go on there and you can download the maps of these walks. But from Condalilla Falls, from Baroon Pocket Dam, you can walk to Condalilla Falls. Now, we've done that a couple of times
as
well.
It's about 11 kilometres. So what we've done is we've driven 2 cars over, left 1 car, come back, so we've got a car.
Yeah.
But, if you've got hot all day and it's cool, you can certainly do it in a day all the way over and back.
Seriously, it is beautiful. I can remember I couldn't like the Obi Gorge and the
that's right, up the top of
sure, and the views.
Yeah.
And then you walk along the bottom of the valley, and you've got that flat rock, and that's another rock pool that you can actually swim in.
Yeah.
And it's
little waterfall areas and stuff. We should do that again. We haven't done that for so long.
Well, that was a long time ago we did that. I'm just thinking maybe we're getting a bit too old for it.
Well, no,
we're not.
You can do from Baroon Pocket. There's a Baroon Lookout walk, and that is only about 4 k's as well. So that's that's where you can see into that gorge and everything. So it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So it's a grade 3 walk. It's form tracks, may have some short, steep hills and many steps. Some experience recommended. Look, as long as you're reasonably, not over the top fit. Look, Leanne and I could definitely still do it now.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard. But the scenery is just magnificent. And 9 times out of 10, there's no one else there.
No, it's beautiful, especially if you get there early. It's great. So that's Condalilla Falls and Baroon Pocket Dam and some part of the walk. What else did you want to share? We're just talking Montville really, and there's a whole other area. But what about the other favourite little place that we like to go to, which is Mary Cancross Scenic Reserve?
Yeah, I thought that's probably more Mullaney than that's closer to Mullaney than it is Montville. But just to finish off Montville, the accommodation available?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Where you can stay? Look, there's a whole bunch of accommodation.
Yeah. So there's luxury accommodation here, and there's
luxury at Mayfield Apartments. You've also got Altitude, which is probably 300 metres from this place, but it's on the other side. But it does still have views of the escarpment.
Amazing views,
and both Mayfield Apartments and Altitude have got the spa bars and the restaurants and
Altitude's a bit more modern.
Sure.
Yeah, it's been built. Then there's where we used to own. It's like your standard, large motel room.
Yeah, with the pool and the tennis court, which we talked about. Then you've got Cloverley Estate, which has got Spicer's Restaurant. That's more or less 5-star.
Yeah. And what about the Condalilla? They've got accommodation there right at the top of the falls. So that's that sort of rainforest.
Yeah, that's the eco resort.
Yeah,
so that's all individual cabins. You've also got the treetops, which is just beside
Lyle's
Mayfield.
pointing at me. I'm like, what are you pointing at?
I'm pointing
Yeah.
past you. So that's got the treetops, and that's right on the escarpment as well. And then you've got.
If you have a problem with stairs, though, just make sure you check the accommodation.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
we are on a hill.
Yeah.
And one of the things some people used to say to us, "Oh, it's a windy road up here." I'm like, "Well, you're nearly 500 metres from sea level. In half an hour. So yeah, how else are you going to get up the top?" So a lot of the places do have some stairs.
But you've also got
there's like the spotted chook. There's these funny, gorgeous little Airbnbs around the place, and if you're after a quiet sort of
bed and breakfast rather than Airbnb.
That's what I meant.
But so you've got the spotted chook, you've got Remington's, you've got what's that place we always go past? Bernie's Weekend.
Oh yeah, Weekend at Bernie's.
Weekend at Bernie's place, and then you've also got the Clouds, which
Clouds
is more motel style accommodation, but that's just been renovated.
Narrows down here.
Narrows Escape,
That's very isolated and private and very luxurious.
Look, the thing about Montville, it's probably not for kids, I would say. It's very much a couple's romantic getaway, whether it be, honeymoons, whether it be anniversaries, and
birthdays, whatever.
Yeah.
Although you could come and have a weekend where you went to Russell Family Park and did Mary Can Cross, and, you could do, if they're bigger kids, they could do maybe that waterfall walk.
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, Australia Zoo's only 20 minutes away as well.
There you go. Yeah.
Australia Zoo, and for anybody that's not Australian, Australia Zoo was where Steve
Irwin,
he developed that, and it's basically a zoo, crocodile shows, bird shows.
Oh, it's world famous, Lyle. Everyone knows Steve. Crikey.
Yeah, so that's only 20 minutes away. You've got the big kart track as well, which is a pretty amazing go-kart racing track. But look, it is beautiful. So look, accommodation, no problem. It's not cheap, but it's all good.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to share about the Montville hinterland?
No, just that it is very, very unique. And okay, you tell me what 3 words would you use to describe the area up here?
Okay, well, I would say lush. I would definitely say the views, and I would certainly say quaint.
Yeah, all those I agree with. I would say romantic. I would say extraordinary.
Yeah.
And I would say I had a lot of fun up here.
That's all in one word. But
and
anyway.
that was in the Montville Cafe Bar and Grill. But anyway, that's another story.
And your favourite place to have a wine here, Lyle? You've got one of those?
Or I'd have to say pretty much sitting where we are right this minute at the Edge restaurant, overlooking the basically the forest and the rainforest and the farms and the valleys out there to the Pacific Ocean.
I'd have to agree. Well, all right. Well, next week we're still doing our summer series, and we'll be wandering somewhere else around the Sunshine Coast. So we'll keep it a surprise until the next episode. So
this was much more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Good. I'm glad. I hope everyone else thinks that too. So don't forget to check out beachtravelwine.com/podcast. And this is episode 88 to scale. I'll put the links to accommodations and the walks and the pictures of Montville. I'm going to go and take some more photos now, so they're updated and relevant. And so, yeah, go and check that out. And so it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her.